Good evening, Spiritual Collective. So tonight when I asked what we needed to hear, what guidance we needed to hear to help us in the upcoming future, in the days to come, I received the Two of Water. And this is sideways. I'm feeling like this is a positive connection, although there may also be some question about this connection as well. Maybe an uncertainty, possibly. This could also be just the balance of your emotions here that you've acquired recently that you're still developing. So this could be a couple of things here. Followed by the Knight of Fire. So this is definitely a card of passion, of movement forward, which we have been getting recently in the readings. Definitely feeling like you're definitely know what you're doing, where you're going. You definitely feel a lot of a passionate drive, at least in the direction. It's also a direction of healing. There's a healing element to where you're going, what you're doing, what you're moving towards. A renewal. There's definitely renewal here. There's a passion for renewing yourself, of rebirthing yourself, and of walking away. You definitely have walked away or are currently walking away from something. And this has brought you in alignment to good fortune coming your way. Another cycle. Again, this is a good cycle. This is definitely a cycle of rebirth, renewal. Definitely feeling like you're feeling upgraded spiritually, mentally, emotionally. But again, this was landed this way. So I feel like this is still in play here, this balance of emotion. So you might still be working on that. Okay? If it's not a relationship. It could be both. But definitely you have been working on your emotional state lately. That's obvious. So we're going to get more clarity on this, okay? Okay, yeah. Here we go. Ooh, okay. Popping right out here. Guarded heart. Ooh. Guarded heart. Again, when I was saying the emotions. The emotions, again, with this balance of emotions, also concerning possibly another person, was in play here in movement. Not quite decided upon or reached a conclusion or reached a finality, right? Still in play. Guarded heart. Walls may have protected you once, but now they're just keeping everything out, including what could heal you. Okay, remember when I was talking about walking towards healing? So maybe there is this walking away of being overly guarded. And again, you've walked away from many things already that weren't serving you. And you continue to do this. But maybe taking a look at how guarded you are with your heart and your emotions. And again, it's not to say that this isn't warranted. That this hasn't been needed. Maybe not to open your heart up 100% to just obviously anyone. But maybe loosening some kind of block to emotional vulnerability in some ways. Possibly. Interesting. But you do have the Wheel of Fortune, and it's upright, and it feels good. And again, with this balancing, there's a balance I feel here with the two. Feeling the different elements coming and balancing each other out. Okay. Not for sale. We have a cage here. Your priorities are clear. Your values are non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. Authenticity may not always pay, but it always aligns. Being true to yourself, being true to what you know, being true to what you know to be true, not being afraid to say what you need to say. This brings to mind the current disclosure that's happened and how people brought this up many years ago and were laughed at and were called conspiracy theorists and called names, and yet things end up being true. They weren't listened to, but they spoke out anyway. They knew something was wrong. They were trying to uncover the truth. They did uncover, there was a lot of truths that were there. This is just an example. It didn't pay to tell the truth or to say these things because you were labeled in some negative, derogatory way where people didn't take you seriously, but they stood with that. And you should stick with what you know to be true and what you know to be right and what you know to be correct. Again, authenticity may not always pay, but it always aligns. This will align you to greater energies, and this will align you to it's gonna pay off spiritually. It's gonna help you heal. It's gonna align you with, again, with this snake imagery. It's gonna align you with possibilities, new gifts. Staying true to who you are and not swaying for others, not caving in to others. If you do this, you should not do this. Again, it's not always easy, but for those of us or individuals who've been speaking out about even just like your mundane your everyday reality, the things that you see even just in your everyday life that are not quite right, or that are just your authenticity, when you speak authentically about it, when you speak truthfully about it, not always popular, not always the right thing to say to get you to be in the right crowd, but it definitely pays spiritually on a soul level. Blessed by fire. Okay. Looking back, you can acknowledge that every trial was an initiation. You are not cursed. You are blessed by fire. So taking those things that have happened to you, the pain, the hurt, the neglect, the abuse, the slander, and turning it into what makes you, what you are now, how strong you are now, and how that developed you into who you are now. Vision of the hawk. I believe that's a hawk or falcon. Anyways. You know, there really is a feeling of like being through some stuff, and also with this not for sale, this not giving up your authenticity, not being afraid to speak truthfully about it, not being afraid to bring it up, not being afraid to share it with others in a way for healing to occur for other people, bringing insight to these things that are less than popular. I'm also getting words too. A pet peeve I have of being online, how we can't use certain words, or people, they don't use certain words that are words, and they use other words for this algorithm because certain words, listen here, we can't sugarcoat the ugly reality. We can't sugarcoat the bad things that happen. And when we use different words, or we even don't even say the word, we're acting like it doesn't exist. We're acting like it doesn't matter. You know, we're sugarcoating it. Like, it grinds my gear. Like, it gets me so annoyed when I see, like, abbreviations for words that are serious and that happen in real life, in articles. Okay. So something about that too. Something about saying what needs to be said, despite your the negative backlash, and how that strengthens you. Inner authority. You're realizing that you don't need a title to lead your own life. There is no hierarchy when you're the only one in power. Exactly. You lead your life. You are the king, queen, leader, whatever of your life. And you don't need someone to lord over you, to tell you what you can say, how you can feel. No. How about no? Because I'm sure some people feel really really bad for throwing titles, for throwing slander around for people who were just bringing up the truth. I'm just saying, like, I had to get that off my chest because I'm a pretty open-minded person, and I'll follow things, stories, and I'll look into things. I will honestly look into things and come to my own conclusion. And I'll be like, well, I don't know if this 100% happens on a level that it's being said that it happened back. But I can pretty much assure that people are pretty damn evil, and that there are some pretty evil people out there that would do some of these things, and that this percentage of people probably have, and that it's out there. You know? I'm just saying. Just saying. Just had to get that off my chest there. Unshakable. The path may be brutal and full of obstacles, but your purpose is stronger. Keep going, and it will be worth it in the end. Yes, it'll be worth it. It's something about staying true to who you are, to your path, and how strong it's making you. This is about, being strong. And being your authority, living your life bold, unapologetically, and being healed in this way. There's some healing that's coming from this strength that's going to allow you to really transform, shed your skin, transform, and walk into a new life of your making, of really positive, great changes. Still courted. Okay, so here we got these cards that are promising, and definitely what you need to do moving forward. But also, too, you've got guarded heart, and then you've got still corded. So you still have some cords attached to you. And this says you cut them off. So you may have done a cord cutting. And if you haven't, you need to do one. But not all out. So you've severed them energetically, but you haven't, like, severed them when it comes to your inner self. Your body remembers, your field remembers, and that's why they're still living. You need to do a deeper cord cutting, basically. You need to do a deeper cleansing. I know a lot of our recent readings have been talking about cleaning and cleansing and clearing. And definitely you need to do that, because there's still some energetic cords that are tied to you from your past, from your present, from people. Let's talk about people that have come at you and done not so nice things and have affected you, and you know? Yeah. You know, people may slander you for being who you are, for believing what you believe, for saying what you say, but you still need to say these things on a soul level to be true to the truth and to be true to yourself, your soul, the source, spirit, universe, God, whatever is what you need to do. Okay. Okay, here we go. Love medicine. You've tried being strong, smart, guarded, and self-reliant, but there's a part of you that just needs to be held. Let that part be found by love. So I do feel like there is this element of really opening up here. You got this card, the love medicine, with the guarded heart, and with this initial, when I saw the couple here, there's a need for you to open up, to be more soft in a way emotionally towards another person or towards yourself. That is not to be taken advantage of. That is not to diminish who you are. That is not to dim your light or to negate who you are and who you are becoming. This is just opening up on a more compassionate level. Yeah, I'm almost feeling like a hug, or it's not just that, but just like an intimate touching, like not in a vulgar way, but in a loving, connected way of two people healing. You know, I just like that kind of more softer when it comes to expressing or being with someone else that is significant to you. You'll know who this person is. And if you don't have that person in your life, do it to yourself and practice some level of being more open with others. Not 100% though, because I will never say, you will not hear me say that you need to open up a whole bunch to a lot of people, because that doesn't really get you anywhere, and it usually just drains you, and people just end up taking advantage of you. But I will say, maybe just being a little more open to things emotionally, a little bit, not a lot. Anyways, there's that. Anyways, trailblazer. When you look into the unknown, you teach others what's possible. Will you be brave enough to be the first? Yeah, you're a trailblazer. You're trailblazing your new path. This new path that's opening up to you because you're being honest with who you are. You're saying what needs to be said. You're standing strong in your truth and standing strong in the truth. You're just standing strong and you're not wavering. Okay? Chosen legacy. Just because it runs in your blood doesn't mean it has to run your life. You are here to choose differently. Yeah, breaking these generational curses, breaking these generational patterns, these patterns that have been, you know, around in your family, you know, through your DNA ancestry, but also even just patterns you see around you. Patterns of people that you may have never met anyone that is biologically tied to you. That does happen. Maybe you never met your biological family. So with this is also as well, not just your spiritual ancestry and your DNA ties that you cannot see, but also the family and the people that you grew up around or were around throughout your life and what their patterns were, okay? So yeah. You're strong, and you're not really letting people tell you how to live your life. And because you are so strong, you may have, and you've learned to be guarded, and maybe you're too guarded. But I feel like that's really the only thing that's really in this reading that's like any kind of blockage, except for the still corded. There is a still corded, so do some energetic cleansing and tie. But other than that, It's just about you being a little more open. I'm really feeling with a significant other for many of you. In many of you, it's just your emotional balance and how you see the world. But understandably, like, you understand how the world works, and that it's not a place of rainbows and butterflies, and that bad things happen, and that you do have to be guarded in many ways. But is there a way to be guarded without totally shutting yourself off from other people and opportunities that may come in? Have you healed enough? Have you been through enough that you know you've become so strong that you'll be able to know when things aren't right, and you can cut that off? There is that. You trust yourself to be able to catch things that are off, and it will keep you safe in that way. That's also very important. Okay. Okay. Remember, if you were here, if you listened to prior readings, see, you're on a roll. You're definitely not looking back. You're definitely not the same person you were. You're expanding, and you're becoming more of who you are and who you're meant to be. New behavior generator. Ooh, again, becoming more of who you are in this new cycle after you've let things go. Again, walking away from things that no longer serve you, and energetic ties that no longer serve you, and also behaviors that no longer serve you. So the new behavior generator. Imagine the most powerful, disciplined, and successful version of yourself. How do they walk? How do they speak? What choices do they make effortlessly? When you vividly picture yourself embodying these behaviors and the mindset you desire, your brain will wire to those traits into reality. So picture yourself doing these things that your ideal self, your future self, are people who you feel are very successful and you would like to emulate, at least in the ways that they are successful, the kind of behaviors, the kind of habits that they do. And usually for me, and I believe this what most people, is when I'm really about to change a habit or something, in my environment or what I'm doing, I definitely make up my mind way before. And even if I don't get around to it, I make little steps, but in my head, I'm already there. I'm already like, it's a done deal. I just need to set it in motion. But it's done here first. Okay? You can't, you're not going to be motivated to make these huge changes if you haven't even thought about making the changes. If you haven't visualized those changes being made and what kind of benefits you're going to get from those changes. Right? A third perspective. To find common ground in conflict, imagine mediating between two parties, you and the other person. What would a neutral observer suggest as a fair resolution? This approach depersonalizes the conflict and opens the door to compromise. Okay, so this might be an issue if you are having some kind of problem with another person or people. But it also, allows you to, again, to depersonalize, making it easier to be more compassionate and less guarded. If you look at it from a third person and how you would mediate a situation, that could also help there. So if you are having difficulties just in general with other people or with a specific certain person or people, that can really help. Surface structure. Surface structure. Surface structure refers to the actual words people use. Oh, remember when I was talking about actual words and how people don't use the words and use other words that minimalize or don't even say the word. Okay, so anyways, surface structure refers to the actual words people use, while the deeper meaning may lie beneath. This card reminds you that what's said isn't always meant. Pay attention to language and explore what's beneath the surface. Okay, so you need to pay attention to what's being said, what you're saying, how you're saying it, but also what other people are saying to you and what's really being said. This card reminds you that what's said isn't always what's meant. Yeah. And usually you can see if like there's a disconnect between the person and their body language, facial, like energetic, kind of weird anomaly with what they're saying. You can usually tell if there's a mismatch, something not right. You can usually tell. Law of dominant effect. The law of dominant effect states that a suggestion becomes far more powerful when paired with strong emotion. Whether you're influencing yourself or others, remember that emotions amplify the impact of words, making them more effective. Yeah. So again, with emotion and words, what we're just saying over here with the surface structure and words and the law of dominant effect, like there's something about words people are saying, or even how you're saying it, the words that are said, and emotion also too can be used in many different ways, but also with persuasion, also propaganda, people trying to manipulate can use this. So also look, yeah, you're gonna have to like really dig a little deeper and try to figure out what people are really saying. Just take that extra time to pay attention, and if emotion is being used as well, right? Words said, words not said. Words are important too. Getting that. Clear your perspective. A stressful thought is often a streak of on the mental glass, not a true reflection of reality. When tension builds, ask yourself, what might I be projecting onto this situation? The truth is often simpler and softer than it first appears. Okay. So, projection, what are you seeing that's not quite clear? This stress he's saying is like a streak on the glass. It's not really there. Not a true reflection. Yeah, there's something that's not a true reflection of reality that might be something that you're seeing, a reality that you're seeing that's been tainted by something that's happened in the past, something that's kind of like gotten into your head and really changed the way you see things and is really allowing a lot of stress to come in. Limiting decisions, okay. And on him, right there, bars on the window there. It says, I'm not good enough. People always disappoint me. Money is evil. Things never work out for me. So limiting decisions. A limiting decision is a choice made in the past, often unconsciously, that restricts your opinions and potential. What did you decide about yourself, others, in the world that limits your growth? Identify these limiting decisions and replace them with empowering choices that reflect your true potential. So you need to find these and replace them with empowering choices. Okay, so find these limiting decisions that you've made about yourself. Again, the examples shown here are, I'm not good enough. People will always disappoint me. Money is evil. Things will never work out for me. So these are the limiting thoughts. Again, that's probably here that's messing up your perspective. Okay, these limiting decisions are messing up your perspective. Also clearing your perspective. Yeah, also with the clearing with the cord cutting. So clearing comes in here too. and this snake with the shedding of the skin. So there's something that you really need to shed, to cleanse, to get rid of, that's hindering you in some way. But your path looks really good. It's really about mindset and opening up, because a lot of limiting emotions and thoughts are getting in your head. Okay, wow, what do we got here? Got 3 cards. Rise above it. It's not yours to carry. You are an empath. How can you detach from the drama? Okay. So again, detaching from the drama. This is the drama that you're letting get in and shaping your mind, and therefore having an impact on your reality, what you're perceiving. Turn your worry into wonder. Surrender to the experience. What possibilities can you dream into reality? Yeah, what possibilities? Remember the limiting decisions, and how to rewrite these to be in your best potential. Turn your worry into wonder. Surrender to the... Yeah, so really just look at these beliefs and really replace them with what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, what you want out of your life. Prioritize self-love and self-care. When do you feel the most nurtured and cared for? So this is about self-love, self-care. So obviously, like I said, there was an element of self-love here that you really need to connect with, and being more compassionate towards yourself. You've come a long way. So you've done healing, you're still healing. You just need to take a look at how you view yourself, what you're capable of. And remember not to dim yourself, not to diminish yourself, to stand strong and stay true. And to take take past hurts and take past lessons, and realize that they are lessons now, that they were an initiation, guiding you to a stronger you, right? So just cleanse, clear, reevaluate the way you speak to yourself mentally, and have more compassion towards yourself and with others, and walk truly and boldly into your new life.